Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Now today what we're gonna do is we're gonna play a quick 5+3 game and hopefully it's going to be instructive. So okay, we started with d4, he played knight f6. Let's go c4 and see what he does. Okay, g6, let's go for knight to c3, just normal developing. Okay, bishop to g7, let's go for the center with e4. He's just going for the King's Indian setup here. Let's just develop our pieces now. Okay, knight b to d7. They usually castle here, so this is not really the common line, but we're just going to develop normally with knight f3, and we have a big center. Now he's probably going to play with c5 or with e5, fighting for the center himself, but for now I think he's going to castle, and then he's going to have this plans in his mind. Now okay, he plays e5 immediately, which seems fine, of course, so we're just going to castle. We can allow him to take here because we're going to recapture it with the knight, and we will bring our knight to the central square. And yeah, this is exactly what happens. Our knight comes to the central square, and we have this Maroczy pawn structure, which is a very important pawn structure to study, to get better at. I also have one video on it, so you could go and check it out. So now what I'm going to do is, well, the place for this bishop is usually here on e3. It could also sometimes be here on b2, but I think I'm just going to put it here on e3 now. And yeah, okay, he plays knight c5, just attacking my pawn. Now I can play, let's say, f3 to just protect this pawn. And because if I play something like queen to c2, this is really not the place for the queen. You want to have it on d2 usually. And he's also going to play rook d8, putting even more pressure here. So let's just play f3 now. And okay, a5. This is common to expand on this side of the board now. Now what do we want to do here? I think queen to d2 is just a really normal move. Just connecting our rooks here. This rook is probably going to go to c1, and this rook maybe to d1, because our plan in the future is also to jump here on d5 with our knight. Now he wants to exchange some pieces, basically because he has less space, we have more space in the center, so this would be great for him. Now I think I can play, let's say, something like knight to c2 and just avoid this. But even if I exchange pieces, I think I'm also good. But yeah, it's probably better to just avoid trading pieces for now. So let's just do that. Whew, that was a lot of talking. But yeah, I hope that this was all understandable here. And I'm also gonna have to think more now to not get in any trouble. Okay, knight to h5. This seems a bit odd. This seems like a pretty odd move to me. I think... Okay, not knight to d5 because he can take our pawn here. g4 might also be possible, but probably a bit too aggressive. A bit too weakening also. You know what? I think g4 might be good here. So let's just play g4. We're basically attacking his knight. He has to go back. And now what I had in mind was to just expand with f4. We have a lot of space here, and I think we can make use of it. But something like knight to c5 now seems pretty nice, just attacking this pawn for the second time and also this pawn for the second time. So I'm not sure about that now. Okay, yeah, let's just take this knight. I don't see any other way. I think I screwed up a bit with this g4 and f4. Maybe it was too fast, maybe I should have done something else. But we're gonna take a look at this in the analysis. So for now, let's just take this guy here okay, our queen is also hanging now, so let's just take this queen and play knight to d5. Maybe that's a possible move here. I mean, he can take and then take this pawn, but I think we get some compensation here. Because otherwise, if I defend this pawn, let's say with knight to e3 or h3, then he can, invade with his rook here. So that's probably not the best. I don't want him to do that, so... oh, knight to d5 just loses this pawn, so I'm really not sure about everything about stuff now. g5 seems possible, just attacking the knight, you know. The knight has to move, so now we're not actually losing a pawn. But still, I'm really not sure about this position. He's gonna have to move somewhere, and then we will go and fight for this open file. Now I have half a minute now, and he has like 4 minutes actually. So we gotta play faster. Where is he going to go to? Maybe here, but then I can play h3 and just trap his knight. So he can do that. He's probably going to go to here, and maybe, you know, go to d6. This seems like a nice plan. So yeah, let's see. Okay, he plays this. Now let's just play rook to d1. I also wanted to play something like e5 to really make his knight bad here and also the bishop. But okay, yeah, this is interesting. Okay, let's just play our rook here, attacking the bishop, and now we want to go here, basically to double up on this file. Yeah, let's take it back. And now we lost a pawn, but we can play something like this. Okay. Okay, let's go e5 now. I'm literally on seconds now. I'm playing too fast. I'm playing too slowly. Okay, knight here. We're a pawn down, but maybe we have something, I don't know. Okay, yeah, we're just losing now. Man, that was so annoying. I just didn't have any time at the end. Next time I have to play something like 10 plus 5 or something, so I can at least think about the position. But okay, let's just take a look at the analysis board now, what the computer has to say about all of this. Okay, so I just added the evaluation bar right here, so we can see what the computer actually thinks about it. Okay, these opening moves here weren't so important because they were just normal, you know. This seems like it's going to head into some King's Indian sort of attacking positions. But it actually transposed into the Maroczy structure. After he takes on d4, we recapture, and he plays castles. Now the computer says we're already a lot better here, which is reasonable because we have a big center, and you can see that this bishop is really not great. This knight is not nicely placed here. He usually has his knight on c6, so he can exchange it quickly for our knight, just to get rid of some pieces, you know, because he has less space, and this also means less space for maneuvering and everything. So here I played bishop d3, and after knight c5 I played f3. And this is all great, and now after a5 I just played queen to d2. This is also a typical move, connecting the rooks and just having everything under control here. And now knight d6. Like I said, we don't want to exchange this or anything, which is still better for us. But since we have more space, why would we exchange pieces, you know? Let's play knight to c2. And now after knight h5, like I said, this is a really weird move. Just moving the knight out of the action now. I mean, what is this knight doing here? I have no idea. The computer wants to play a move such as f4. Just getting more space, probably want to play something like f5, you know, to just open up black's position. But I'm not 100% sure. Let's see, what we do after this? Okay, just developing the rook to d1. f5 is maybe too quick. Yes, it's too quick. He can play knight to c5 and put pressure on this pawn. And with this, also on this pawn, you know, this bishop and this pawn are looking here. These two knights are looking on these pawns. So after we play, let's say, bishop to f3, he's going to put more pressure here. And I think that that's why this is a bit too quick to play f5. But yeah, f4 is really nice. Let's see what computer thinks about g4. g4, not the best, but we're still better. After knight to f6, yeah, f4, now black just equalizes with knight to c5. I should have played something like rook to d1, again, just putting the rook on a half open file here. You know, getting the rook into some action and also removing it from this diagonal, because a lot of times this could be a problem with this bishop, of course, being here. So after f4, knight to c5 attacks too many of my pawns, so I just have to take it off. That's correct. And now I take the queen, and here g5. Yeah, that's all correct, and it's still around equal. After knight to e8. Oh, and computer wants e5 now. Like I said, e5 really makes this knight bad because it can't go anywhere, and also this bishop is suddenly bad. But I didn't play this because of, you know, something like his rook going here, which looks like it's not a problem because I can play knight e3. And what if he takes this pawn now? I just want to exchange these rooks. Yeah, and I guess it makes sense because even if we exchange rooks here, his rook is really bad now, it's not doing anything. The knight, where's the knight going to go? The bishop has no perspective here, as you can see. And also this bishop is on the first rank. So I guess that's why I should have done that, and it seems like white is much better here. You know, maybe white's going to play something like knight a4 and just take this guy. That's the first thing that pops up to my head after c6. Yeah, knight a4 seems fine. Taking here, the pawn here, and just having an active position versus black's passive position. So this is really nice, and I haven't seen that. So that's why I just played my rook to d1, and now the position is equal. After bishop to h3, I should have taken on d8, but also rook to f3 is not bad. Now bishop to g4, and I just went for the open file. He took, I took, and now computer basically wants him to take this knight here on c3. And now I take on g4 and he takes my pawn. And after this, I thought that maybe something like this would be possible. You know, to attack the bishop and also to attack the pawn here. But after bishop to c1, he's attacking these pawns here. So that's why this is quite problematic. I was really low on time here, so I couldn't, you know, do anything else. But he took on e2, and after I recaptured, he plays knight to d6, and now e5. He takes on c4, b3, and now knight to e3. I was playing really well, I think, you know, under this time pressure now, because, you know, these are all computer moves. And now knight to c4. Okay, it still says it's equal because we have an active rook here. This bishop is not doing anything. Yeah, that's why we have enough compensation here to, you know, just draw the game. He took on b3 now, and yeah, here I had like a second on the clock, so I just took on b6, and I just saw that, okay, now I'm losing after he takes on a2, and I just lost some time. Now, of course, I should have taken here on b3 back, and it doesn't matter if he activates or anything, because I will just move my king closer to the center, so that's not a problem. He would probably have taken here on c4, and now he has 3 pawns against 1 pawn here, but these pawns are quite stuck here, and I can play something like rook to d7 to just target these pawns. And also this bishop is really bad. Whereas my knight could, you know, jump somewhere to some nice squares and do at least something, you know. I think the main mistake was just playing g4 and f4 too early. I should have played without g4, just f4, because g4 became a target afterwards, after I played f4, because this pawn wasn't defended anymore. So that's why just f4. Why would I have to weaken myself with g4? And I think this game was exceptionally instructive, you know, because this structure, this Maroczy Pawn structure comes out of a lot of openings and shows up in a lot of games, and it's important to know how to play with it. So guys, if you like that, please watch more videos, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.